What's up, HyperFast Nation? On this episode of the podcast, we are diving deep into Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, talking with an expert who has helped hundreds of real estate agents build and scale their personal brands and businesses through social media. Welcome to the show, Shannon McKinstrie. Welcome to the show today. How are you doing, Shannon?
I'm doing well. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, you're just in our neighboring state, North Carolina, from where our business is up in the DC area. So excited to have you on today talking about a really important topic, social media. And why don't you give our listeners and viewers out there a little bit of background on how you got started, helping people with their social media and their branding?
Sure. So I've been in media and marketing forever. I worked at CNN after college, wanted to go kind of like the broadcasting route, and then decided it was a lot. It was, overnights, weekends, and things like that. And then I was like, well, what do I do? And marketing was always a passion of mine too. So that's right around the time that social media we were seeing lots of growth. It was just Facebook, MySpace. So I'm aging myself there. But I mean, I was like, these are fun. Like this, I get it. Like this is a lot of fun. And then it went from personal to business. And I was like, all right, this is where I'm taking my career. This is what excites me. It's kind of a mixture of everything I love doing, creating, video production, everything. So, and then I had my daughter, and, I was trying to figure out who I wanted to work with. And I was like, maybe I just do social media on my own, because I've been doing it at my 9 to 5 at a local in Arlington, a K-12 company. And I was like, I really want to stay home with my kid. How do I do this? How do I make it happen? And I have friends and family in real estate. And I figured, well, I was already helping them on the side, giving them advice on how to grow on Instagram and Facebook. And they were like, Shannon, you should just start a business. And I was like, okay. So I started doing local workshops for local realtors in McLean, Arlington, DC. And it just kind of blew up from there. And I would do a workshop and leave with clients, and do another workshop, leave with more clients. And I just really, because with social media, yes, you can reach anyone in the world. But I tell everyone, and no matter what they do, whatever their industry is, I always tell people, start local. Because if you get that hyper local following, then you grow from there. So I'm always like, start local, grow outward. And it's because that's been kind of the magic formula for my real estate clients and in other industries as well.
Yeah, the more you can kind of niche down, the easier it's going to be, because it's just like fishing in a small pool.
Exactly. Absolutely. And then, I tell people, I'm like, word of mouth is still like one of the biggest, referrals I know is a big thing for realtors. And even in social media, again, I think we're so focused on getting these people that are all over the world. And it's like, well, if your local community knows, likes, trusts you, they spread the word about you, they become your megaphones. They spread the word about your social media also. They're sharing your posts. They're telling their friends, oh, you need to follow so-and-so because they share stuff about this that you're interested in. And then it just snowballs from there.
So what did you start helping real estate agents with? And, were you teaching them the strategy, or were you doing it for them, or what, how did it all start, and what did you kind of do to help them out?
Yeah. So I started by just kind of teaching them in these workshops. And a lot of times, and that's the thing. Realtors are like, okay, well, when am I supposed to do work? Because I would tell them things to do and they're like, I don't have time, or they didn't want to. So I also have another side of my business where we manage for the client. But really what I love to do is teach people how to do it themselves, because you are the face of your brand. This is like your own little reality show on Instagram. Hello, we all love to look at pretty houses. We're all nosy and want to see what people are doing, what they're eating, where they're going out to eat, what they like. So Instagram is the way to do that. And the biggest thing with real estate agents is I tell them all the time, you still see people doing for sale by owner. And it's like, I think a lot of people don't actually understand everything a realtor does. They often think you just hire a real estate photographer, hire a home inspection person, and get like a $20,000 check. And that's not it at all. They're in the trenches. They're doing a lot of the dirty work. They're protecting you from losing a ton of money and investing in houses. There's just so much a realtor does beyond what people see. And Instagram allows you to do that. It allows to show behind the scenes of what it's like to actually be a realtor and why you deserve even more than that commission check and why they should trust you over maybe their neighborhood specialist. It really helps build that brand that people you don't have to go through this rigorous, trying to track down leads. It's just another great way to get your face seen and build that trust.
What do realtors need to do specifically to do that? Is it just documenting, through stories, posting about it on the feed, reels, lives? Like what are like, how should they be using the Instagram platform? Because there's like 5 or 6 or 7 different ways now to post on it.
I know. And that's where it gets like really complicated. And my goal is always never to complicate it to the point that someone gives up. And there's a lot of stuff out there now where they're like, you got to post this many times a day. You got to do this, whatever works for you. I post to my feed maybe 3 to 4 times a week. And I always have. That's been my number forever, but everyone's different. If you have the time and you want to create content and, you want to throw a reel up in IGTV, a post, all throughout the week, do it. But I know a lot of realtors don't have that time. So find where you feel comfortable. And if video isn't your thing yet, start small in Instagram stories. Instagram stories are a great way to test out videos, see what works, see what people kind of react to and where to get comfortable. And a lot of agents, if you're hiring someone to do a listing tour, have them create an Instagram video, right? Make sure it's the right length. You don't have to crank out all this content if you don't have the time. But what I do say to realtors, the biggest thing is when I go to your Instagram, if I can't see your face or if I only see houses, I want more of the story. So what I would suggest to a realtor who's just starting out or trying to kick things up a notch, it's simply, if you were going to do, let's say you do 4 posts a week, I would do one, either like a client story, a testimonial, something like that. So they know, hi, you do have clients, you know what you're doing, and you have happy clients. So whether it's a closing day, and one of the biggest things there is, I think a lot of realtors don't realize Instagram is a storytelling app. So if you just put up a photo and say, hey, closed in Bethesda, Maryland, congrats, they want to know more. They want to know, is this someone that just moved here? Is this someone, did they write 10 different offers and they finally found their one, right? Like tell a little bit of the story. That could be one post. The second could be something about you, why you do what you do, your favorite place to go, your favorite dog park in the area, right? Your favorite place to go get a drink after work. Tell a little bit about you, your life outside of just real estate, and then do a listing. And I tell realtors all the time, I know even if you're starting out, maybe you don't have a lot of listings, maybe you're on a broker's open, you toured a house and it had this beautiful bathtub. Take a picture, tag the agent, say, had a blast looking at this home. You can create content that way. And then again, another one would just be maybe the listing or introducing someone on your team. So it's that perfect mix of personal and business, because we don't want to just know the business side of you. We want to know more. And then lastly, another idea would be something educational. So maybe you are sharing the market stats. Maybe you are sharing a tip on how to stage your house, things like that. So my biggest thing for realtors is if you go to your page and it's just house, or just you, right? Like mix it up, keep it fun. Remember that Instagram is a place where people want to connect. They want to know the story. So just have fun with it. And always remember it's you're there to serve your audience and provide help. So allow them to get to know you, allow them to get to know client stories, the listings you have, your favorite places in the DMV to go eat, drink, walk, etc. They want to know all that stuff.
So are you, when you do these workshops and teach this to agents, do you do you actually create, like, how do you get them to then go do it? Do you create accountability? Do you like do it for them? I mean, that would kind of be hard to do from all over, but like how are you making sure that people do it? Because I think what you're saying is like conceptually most people probably get it, but then doing it and being consistent over time, and right, because a lot of them they'll do it for like a week or two and they'll be like, well, it doesn't work, I didn't like no one called me wanting to buy a house, right?
Right. Yeah, well, and I always tell people, social media, it's a long game. Just like with real estate postcards, right? Realtors are spending so much money sending out postcards and farming. It's the same thing. You don't quit after your third mailing, right? It takes what, like 6, 7 mail postcards for someone to actually bite typically.
Right.
In social media, I say put that in months terms. It usually takes about maybe 6 months of consistent showing up on stories, taking people through your day, sharing content, being like, hey, look at this house, look at this. This is what I love. It's building that personal brand. It takes time for us to trust somebody. We all have these walls built up right now because we're sold to all day long, from social media to just driving down the street, right? We're like, oh my gosh, okay. And now the marketing rule of 7 is now the marketing rule of 21. It often takes us 21 times to see something before we push go and purchase something.
Oh wow! So that's gone from 7, and just so people know, that's the rule of like, if you see something 7 times, that's when you'll like buy it, or if you're asked. Now it's 21.
21. And I think it's because, again, we are consuming so much content. And as we scroll on Instagram, just spending 5 minutes scrolling on your feed on Instagram, you're going to probably see like 20 ads. And it's a lot. And I'm a big fan of ads, but like, that's why a lot of people, also realtors, they'll like boost a post for a week and they're like, it didn't work. I'm like, well, again, it takes months, and there's pixels, and there's all this complicated stuff.
Right.
But yeah, what I typically tell them is, one, you need to have patience, and it has to be consistent. So if you don't think you can post at least 2 to 3 times a week on Instagram, show up on stories. If it's not fun to you, you're not going to like it. And that's when I say, I'll do it for you. Like, give me your logins. We'll do it for you. But for the homework I usually give them in the workshop, I usually do, first thing we do is we go through their Instagram bio to make sure their messaging is right, and that people know who they are, how they can reach you, things like that. And then I give them, just a very simple content calendar. I also love, giving them a few caption templates to just give them a little jump start. I did a 6-week course with realtors back in Arlington before we moved here to Raleigh. And it was so much fun because it was over 6 weeks. So every week, and I see all those realtors now still doing exactly what I taught them. So they really took it. So I do think it kind of like what you said, if you do it for a week or 2, you're going to be like, pfft.
Right.
But after 6 weeks, like, they did see some movement and they felt confident and they had fun with it. And I still, to this day, and this was almost 2 years ago that this workshop was, and I still to this day see them showing up consistently, and they're growing, and it's awesome to see. So it is one of those things where, yes, while it's a free app, it costs you your time. So if you're not going to enjoy it, then maybe try LinkedIn, maybe try something else. Like, it's okay if you don't like Instagram. I do think it's the number one app to grow your brand over anything else. But if you're not having fun, you will never grow because people can feel it.
Hey, hold that thought for a minute. Do you have a client that needs to buy or sell a home in the DMV area? Then why not trust the highest selling team in the DMV, the Carrie Scholl team? We've helped thousands of buyers and sellers and would love to help your clients. And we guarantee we will save them time, money, and stress throughout the process. And they will be so grateful that you referred them to us. Go to carriescholl.com to learn more. Again, that's carriescholl.com to learn more about sending us your clients that need to buy or sell a home in the DMV area. That's carriescholl.com.
Yeah, how would you use it differently? Just because you brought up LinkedIn and Facebook, like for a real estate agent, what would you do differently?
On LinkedIn?
On the other 2 platforms, yeah.
Yeah, on LinkedIn. So the cool thing about LinkedIn is you don't have to create as much content. I think I maybe do 2 posts a month on LinkedIn. I get really good I get really good engagement. I get DMs every time. I get comments and things like that. The biggest thing with LinkedIn that I tell people, promotional type posts don't really do very well. I would definitely tell a realtor to like put up your just listed, put up your open house, absolutely. But what I see it now when I log into LinkedIn, almost everyone I'm connected to is a realtor because that's just always been my niche. And the posts that I see killing it are those behind the scenes shots. Maybe it's like a team outing, or just a personal branding picture and kind of telling a bit of their story or telling something awesome that happened in their business. LinkedIn users love to cheer other business owners on. We want to know what's going on in other people's businesses. So when I share a post going, I had the biggest launch of my life. This is what we pulled in. This is how many people I helped. I was able to do it from my couch, blah, 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 right? Like telling that story, and my post did very, very well. They want to know behind the scenes. And I do LinkedIn workshops too. And one of my favorite slides to show is this picture of, it's like a laminated name tag that's like terribly laminated, bent, fluorescent lighting, and the guy's caption just said like conference day or something like that. And it like blew up. It got all these comments, all these likes. People are like, whoa, good job, have fun. And all it was they could see behind the scenes that this individual was going out networking, meeting other people, and that's what people on LinkedIn want to see. They really want to see. So it's a really good spot, especially if there's an agent who wants to mentor other agents or wants to have a podcast, right? It's a really good way to position yourself as an expert is on LinkedIn. It's so underutilized, and the people that are using it are seeing a lot of success. But again, I would try to keep the content about business wins, business successes, showing like events that you're at, things like that. People love to see that stuff on LinkedIn.
What about Facebook?
So Facebook's kind of one of those things where I feel like almost every few months I gotta kind of reevaluate what I'm putting out there. If I share the exact same post from Instagram on Facebook, it just doesn't perform as well. So it just shows the audiences are different. We're absorbing content differently. For Facebook, I feel like it's just a different beast. But again, I find that the more personal posts on Facebook do better. Sharing the wins, sharing the things you're doing in your business. Instagram, I really feel like almost all those types of content, educational content, entertaining content, inspiring content, it all does very, very well on Instagram. Facebook, you kind of got to test things out. Again, I think it is because Facebook's much more busier, where Instagram is just post after post after post. Facebook is like, your eyes are just like, where am I going all the time? So again, on Facebook, you don't have to post as much, I believe. Again, everyone's going to say something different. I don't post a lot on Facebook because that's just not where my ideal clients typically are, but I'll post there every once in a while. But I do find it's one of those things where business pages just aren't getting the views that they used to. So if you are going to invest time in Facebook, you want to do ads, like 1,000%. I've never done an Instagram ad, but I've done Facebook ads before.
And are you on Facebook, do you suggest people use their profile, or should they set up a, whatever their name is as a page and do it from there?
So I highly suggest having a Facebook. Yeah, both. So I highly suggest having a business page. But like I said, they don't go big, right? And unless you're paying. So if you want to save money and you don't want to do Facebook ads, what I personally do is I'll post on my Facebook business page, and then I'll share that post to my personal, so that all my friends and family see it.
So you hit both audiences? Exactly.
And then that boosts that post from your page, because your page, you might have 1,000 likes or follows on your Facebook page. Hardly, you're going to put it up and it's like 50 views and it's frustrating. So if you want to get more eyes on it, share it to your personal, and you can simply just, say it is like a closing day, right? You can share it and be like, you can share the exact same post, exact same words, just put it in there. And then you get both those audiences. And it's a great way. A lot of times when I do that, people go, oh shoot, I haven't gone and liked Shannon's page yet. And I'll get like 5 extra people randomly are now liking my Facebook page too. So that's a little thing that I do, and I tell my real estate agents to do, because their Facebook pages just aren't getting the reach, likes, engagement that they used to.
And I feel like on Facebook you definitely have to
you got to pay.
Use ads. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Facebook ads typically do very well, though. I mean, they are, the amount of information Facebook has on your audience is wild. So I'm actually going to be experimenting with ads soon. I'm excited to see what they do.
What do you think has changed, if anything, with how you advise people to use social media in the last year?
Ooh, I would say, especially last year, I'm like, gosh, we've seen just how important it is to be active on social media. But again, it's one of those things where I don't want someone to burn out because of it. I don't want someone to feel like they can't have a life because they're on Instagram when they're not with clients. It's something you got to find exactly what you can commit to and just stay consistent at that, and you'll be fine. But when COVID and all that stuff, when all that hit, I mean, I saw people scrambling because they're like, well, now I'm not as visible. You're less visible. You're not door knocking, right? You're
Right.
just, you can't. So I think it just showed the importance and that it's not going anywhere. And if anything, it's just getting more and more powerful.
Yeah, I think like the number of, I know that maybe this has changed, but initially, like Facebook had so many extra impressions to sell that like the cost of ads came down.
Yeah.
A year ago. Maybe they've come back up since.
But, yeah, because a lot of people they didn't have the revenue to put money into ads.
Right, so that and then there was just more people on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So they had more inventory,
Yep.
Like we are the product. On
yes,
Facebook.
Exactly. So. There's no secret in that anymore. Yeah. People know, I hope. Yeah.
What do you think will change in the future? Like where, like in the next year or so, like where should people be focused on? Should they be doing more video, more image posts, more more long form? Like where
right.
Like where do you think people need to spend more time on right now and in the year ahead?
Yeah, definitely video. Video is something you want to really start getting comfortable with. And like I said earlier, if you're really struggling to show your face, you're really struggling to get confident, start with Instagram stories. Maybe start talking face to camera and sending them to some close friends, get their feedback, right? And I also tell people, if you're really uncomfortable with video, one of the girls I coached years ago, and now she can't get off Instagram stories and IGTVs. Like she's always doing reels and all stuff. I told her, just sit in your car so that you're by yourself, no kids running around, put your sunglasses on if you feel like more confident that way, and just talk to the camera. And that's how she started. She started with just, because she was scared. She wasn't looking in the right place, and she was just scared of all of it. And she was just intimidated. And then the reactions she would get in her DMs, changed her mind. She was like, yeah, I've got to show my face. That's where we are wired to respond to faces. So you have to start showing your face on video. And don't worry if you think you feel like people just want your knowledge. They just want to know who you are. So once you see their reaction, you won't hold back as much. And so video, from stories, reels, IGTVs, they're so powerful. And they just skyrocket that know, like, trust. I see a lot of realtors doing like personal like branding videos where it kind of like someone will take them through, a videographer essentially will take them through the day and show how their day in the life of a realtor, what it's like to be a realtor. And it's amazing. Again, it establishes know, like, trust. And it really hits the fact that, like, okay, this person's legit. They're an expert. So I'm seeing all sorts of cool video content coming from realtors. If you can't really afford the big time videographers yet, start with Instagram stories, start with reels. I do my IGTVs just at my desk, right? You can now go live, turn it into an IGTV immediately. That saves time. It's
do you
video.
do that? Do you like when you do your IGT Instagram lives?
Yep.
do you then like download the video or post it as IGTV?
Yep, I do it right away because for years I was creating my own IGTVs, editing them, adding captions, doing all the closed captions, and it would take me hours. Hours.
Right. And so do you just put in the description when you put it into IGTV that this was your live Q&A session or whatever?
Exactly.
It is?
So like right before
no one's gonna expect it to be edited.
Right. And it's fine because it's not perfect, and it shouldn't be, right? And the more.
And you were saying before you go live, did you say you were about to say you do something or?
Yeah. So this is just kind of hopefully will help everyone. If you know you're going live, like say and I think this is a great idea for realtors, like go live with a mortgage lender, right? Like collaborate. So then both audiences are getting these notifications. So-and-so's live with so-and-so. And have your caption ready to go. Like have it in notes in your phone because you want to have some sort of caption so that people know what they're about to watch.
Yeah.
So I have that ready to go. So right when it's over, I end the live and it says, do you want to make, share this IGTV? And you say yes. And that way you can just copy and paste your caption in there and just throw it up and it's done. You can also add covers now to your IGTV. So I always have that ready to go and my caption, and then it's up and then it's evergreen content. And now when I get a DM and someone asks, hey, Shannon, how do I create a caption on Instagram? I just go, watch this. It also saves time. It gives people, it's another thing that you could even repurpose to YouTube if you wanted. It's really, really cool. So I'm a big fan of going live. I'm a big fan of IGTVs. I'm a huge fan of Reels. Instagram is one of those apps where if you use the things that they put out, they will reward you. So the second Reels came out, those early adopters were killing it because Instagram was like, thank you for using our new feature. We're going to throw your content to more people. Instagram loves when you go live. They love when you do IGTV. So try to get comfortable on video, start thinking of some ideas for video. Go look at what other realtors are doing. Don't copy people's content, but just go look. There's so many realtors just killing it on Instagram. And just go see what they do, look at their reels, look at their videos, and you'll probably get inspired to come up with some cool content.
Hey, hold that thought. Do you want to get 100 tips for free from my best-selling real estate book, The Hyperlocal, HyperFast Real Estate Agent? If you do, go to hyperfasttips.com and you can download 100 of my best tips today. Again, that's hyperfasttips.com. You can download 100 tips on how to grow your business, get more clients, deliver more value to more people. Go to hyperfasttips.com.
They just added another new feature. Like they seem to just kind of steal everything from TikTok.
That's what they do, yeah.
They added remix for the remix, which is like the same as the duet feature on TikTok, which I've made a few of those. I don't know if they did any better or worse than a typical reel.
Right.
But
yeah, those are fun. And I tell people if you're going to do a remix one, people love the ones of like reactions.
Yeah.
They act like, they're fun to make and they're fun to remix of others. And the cool thing is now that we can remix others, look at others' content and see if there's a way you could remix it, and then takes a lot of the guesswork out of what should I create for a reel.
Well, they're kind of easy to do. Like
they are.
If you need to get a post up and
exactly. That's what I mean. I'm like I know a lot of people are like, I don't know how I'm going to come up with this much content. I'm like, just watch, absorb, and take it in, and the other day I just watched Reels for a good maybe 20 minutes, and I wrote down, I think 30 ideas. They just like flooded into my brain because all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh. And what's cool about Reels, it's such bite-sized content, and that's what people want right now. So you mentioned long form, you need that long form content, obviously. Those are great for establishing yourself as an expert. Those are great for storytelling, but then Reels are great for the other piece where sometimes people just want to absorb something very quickly and bite size. And it could be the silliest tip. Like people are always, I think we overthink what we're supposed to be sharing. And I tell all my real estate agents, especially, I'm like, I know nothing. Like, you got to assume we know nothing, and your audience probably doesn't. And if they've heard it, they totally forgot. I have all the reels I've ever created, of every single reel I've created, it's just repurposing exactly a post that I've already done. I'm taking a piece of a tip of something from years ago and just repurposing it. So say you have a lot of blogs, go through those blogs and grab those little pieces of those tips that clients or other realtors have gone, whoa, anything that's ever an aha moment that you're telling someone, write that down and be like, I need to make a reel of this. Every time I'm showing something in a workshop, I wait to see people's reactions. And if I get I'm like, okay, that's going to be a piece of content.
Yeah. I think you hit a good point there on, it seems basic to you as the agent, right? But
right.
To people not in the industry, it's completely new. And I think, like, I've learned this from going live more. I typically will answer the same questions every time. And people are like, oh my gosh, this is like such a good live. But it's like a lot of times the same exact question. So I think sometimes is you can almost get caught in your own world if you're not like reading people's reactions and just understanding that because you've done it, 100 times, like it's completely new to someone else.
Exactly. And it's funny, even on, like, my husband saw me do something on my phone on Instagram. He goes, whoa, how'd you do that? He's like, how'd you change that color? And I was like, oh, you just do this. And he was like, oh my gosh. I was like, Ryan, you've never noticed me do, you know what I mean? And so literally I showed that on stories. I said, hey guys, my husband couldn't believe this trick. And I showed it, and I got so many DMs, and I was like, I have literally shared this hack so many times on Instagram. But also, we got to remember, our audiences are growing weekly. So it's okay to share the same tip that you shared 6 months ago. They've A, forgotten, B, they don't care, or C, they never knew it. So
you need to tell them 21 times.
Exactly. We are all so busy and so scatterbrained. And again, we're all just absorbing so much content that it's okay. So just don't overthink it. And like you said, like, we don't know anything. Like, and again, if people do know it, they don't mind hearing it again. And again, someone who's not in the real estate industry, but I've very close friends and family who are, I still know, I've bought a house, still know nothing. So just know that your knowledge is so valuable to your audience. It's way more valuable than you could ever imagine. And I know every realtor could go, oh, there's probably 1,000 articles about that. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not sitting around reading real estate articles. So inform me, and your audience will eat it up. They'll love it.
Yeah, I agree. Be authentic and tell your story and just
share some helpful tips.
Assume that people like need to know, right?
Yeah.
And just because you've done it 1,000 times doesn't mean everyone else knows it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree. Just put that content out there and be consistent. I think the biggest problem is people just aren't consistent, and if they don't see immediate results, they give up.
That's so true. That's probably the two biggest pain points for people. And I remember I was actually at a social media marketing seminar, and it was for realtors. And I remember one of the realtors did raise his hand, and he was like, when am I supposed to go to the bathroom? Like, when am I supposed to go to sleep? When am I, and I remember I've taken that with me all these years and been like, people don't have time to do the stuff that a lot of these people are sharing. So I always say, if you can just post 3 times a week, and you just, a big thing with Instagram is also engagement. And I tell everyone, I'm like, average users are on Instagram 27 minutes a day. If you're one of those people, just make sure those 27 minutes are spent liking and commenting instead of just scrolling. Get in there and be social. I mean, it's called social media for a reason. It was Instagram, especially Facebook, all of them, they were created for us to keep up with friends and family, right? So we got to remember, it's still a very personal app. There's storytelling apps. We want to know the human. Of course, we want to know about the pretty houses. Of course, we want to know about the market, but we more so want to know about you. And you don't have to get vulnerable all the time. You don't have to tell your life story. You don't have to tell anything you wouldn't tell a stranger. But people do want to get to know the realtor. And I know just listening to friends who have hired realtors, it's just interesting to hear them say why they chose a specific realtor, right? Like one of my friends, single woman, she wanted like that bulldog realtor that was going to fight for her. She didn't want the realtor that was going to hold her hand and stuff like that. She's like, no, I just want a realtor that's going to go get the job done and be a bulldog. Then there's people who probably want more of like the softer agent that might, hold their hand during this or, stuff like that. There's a lot of things that people look for in agents. Instagram is a great place to showcase that so that when someone signs that dotted line to work with you, it's going to be a great experience for you both. And it's going to lead to more sales. It's just going to lead to more listings, more, just more money in your pocket.
Yeah, I agree. Before we wrap up, I always like to do a HyperFast round. If you're ready for some fast questions and answers here.
I love it.
All right. What's your biggest piece of advice to a new real estate agent right now?
Ooh, get on Instagram. I know a lot of people hate that term, fake it till you make it. I don't like it like saying like that, but Instagram, again, if you don't have business yet, you can still start building your brand on day one on Instagram. Go to those buyers opens, show that you're networking, get out, show what you're doing, inform people with cool stuff happening in DC, start building that following. It's the same as door knocking. It's the same as having your sign in someone's yard, right? Just get visible. So get visible by any means necessary.
All right. What's the biggest mistake you see experienced agents make?
I think thinking social media is not important in their business. I think a lot of agents think, oh, well, and here's the other thing. You don't need to be on social media to be a successful agent or business owner. But you will absolutely, by not being on social media, you are missing out on more revenue. So why not? So I know a lot of real estate agents are like, oh, I've been doing this. I'm seasoned. I don't need it. Well, a lot of the younger buyers, guess where we're going? We're going right to your Instagram page. I'm not looking at your website. So it's just something that you need to learn. You got to get comfortable with it. And you could always outsource it if you don't want to do it.
All right. What's the biggest business challenge you've ever had and how did you overcome it?
Ooh. I guess the biggest one is trying to help everyone. It's insane with agents, you're going to have clients who you're just not going to vibe with, or they're going to micromanage, they're going to drive you crazy. So really understanding, I think, who you are as a business owner and asking yourself, what do I want out of this business? I'm a major people pleaser. My default setting has always been yes, I just do. That unfortunately I got taken advantage of a lot. And it also stalled my business growth for the first few years. So I think just really any realtor out there needs to understand they are a business owner. You are an expert, you are knowledgeable. Just know that not everyone's going to want to work with you, and that's okay. And actually celebrate that. So I think that was my biggest obstacle, was trying to be everything to everyone and just being disappointed when I wasn't. And now that I know who I serve, I know that it's okay if someone doesn't want to work with me. It's really helped me grow my business in incredible ways. It's definitely a mindset shift.
All right. When you're not working on social media or helping other people do it, what do you do for fun?
I am a big fan of food. So I'm very big in going out to eat. I always say, I'm like, is that a hobby? Is that considered a hobby? Because that's my hobby. So we just moved to Raleigh. I grew up in Arlington. I've just been very much in the community. So really like to go out to eat, really like to just kind of be in the community, in the culture. Very much a people person. I like to be out of the house. So anything like that. Love to eat, love to just go on walks with my family. And there's nothing I love more than getting people together, having some good wine, and just being around people in general.
All right, last one. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Ooh, my big dream is to, be I'm very into one-to-many approach to my business. I want to help as many people as I possibly can. So I would love to be on stage one day at a big event. I would love to, I want to always continue to help business owners and realtors show up on social media, have fun doing it, and just truly reach their full potential in their business. And I really do believe social media is the missing part and the missing piece in a lot of people's business. So on stage where I can just help as many people as possible and give them actionable tips and just continue to help people show up on social media confidently.
All right, Shannon. Well, this has been a great show. You've added, great insight, great tips for real estate agents or anyone who wants to expand their business, personal branding on social media. If you're not doing it, your clients aren't seeing you, at least not as nearly as much as they could. So
right, top of mind. Stay top of mind.
If people want to learn how to do this or how you can help or just connect with you, where should they go?
My Instagram is probably the best place. It's just at Shannon McKinstrie. I'll always keep you all informed. I have upcoming workshops in DC coming up again soon, so I'll be sure to keep you all in the loop about that. And then my website, shannonmckinstrie.com. If you want to get on my email list, you'll be the first to know about any upcoming programs, masterclasses, things like that.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Shannon, for being on the show. For everyone out there watching, listening, tuning in, connect with Shannon, take action, hit the thumbs up sign. Don't forget to subscribe and share this with someone that could benefit from seeing it so that more people can learn these great tips. Yeah. And once again, thank you, Shannon. We'll see you all next time.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the HyperFast Show. Subscribe to us if you want to make sure you get the latest and greatest HyperFast shows. And remember, we love reviews. Reviews help us bring better and better guests and improve our shows. So give us the good, the bad, and the ugly. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end. I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you want to see more, click right here. And if you want 100 real estate tips from my best-selling book, click right here to download them instantly. And if you're new to this channel, click below to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out. And leave some comments about what you think on the videos.